when I saw that Kenya passed a law that more or less legalized homosexuality after America gave them $16 billion, I remember reading it and saying we are in big trouble. Because I know for $16 billion, Museveni can even require every one of us to have sex with each other, all men. Mandatory misiaka for $16 billion. That's how much he loves money. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Once I saw that money, I was like, we are in trouble. We are in trouble. He cannot say it. For that, I don't even think they will give him that much. Because they know how greedy he is. I'll tell you. Let me tell you. Remember the other man, the man who was called Patrick Ho, who was the mayor of Hong Kong, who was charged in America. Patrick Ho. And they were charged and sentenced for corruption. And among the people he bribed, and this is court evidence, it's not hearsay. Among the people he bribed were the president of Chad, who died, and the president of Uganda, the current president. But you see, I would expect that. But what annoyed me so much is for the same thing, the man gave the president of Chad $2 million. And for the same thing, he gave Museveni $500,000. And the man swallowed it. You see, they know he's so great, they can't even, where they go to Chad and they say, this one you have to give him more, $2 million. Museveni took 500,000. So I was like, how cheap can our president? If you're taking, at least you say give me the same as the other man. But you see, even all this, as soon as I saw $16 billion, I said we're in trouble. Because you might find yours even Kwetega. So they also come and give him. I'm telling you the truth. So you have, because there was you might find it yours even behind this. So let me you guys, $16 billion is a lot of money. But I don't think they will give him that one. For him, they will even give him 3. If they gave him 16, he would say mandatory. Mandatory vaccination, sorry, mandatory. I'm telling you, now we are in serious trouble. Because now you're talking of laws, and now let me also tell you this. You're talking about the people who are protecting, who are trying to make a case for homosexuality, are hiding behind human rights. But the people who are spreading the vice are going to schools and paying people money. There was a boy whom they recruited at the age of 9, and the boy recruited as many as 200 people in his time. He was being given a salary. He even had 2 cars by the time he was the age of 15, and he had recruited 200 people into homosexuality, starting from the age of 9. First of all, even if it is normal heterosex between a girl and a boy, at 9 nobody is supposed to be talking about sex. 9 years. But that's how those, now, and you think it was in Kampala? No, it was in the villages of Busoga. So now they are going down using money to go and completely, obliterate our society with young boys who will grow up tomorrow and you don't know where they got these habits from. And now there are some clowns, some stupid fools who are saying human rights. This has nothing to do with human rights. They are recruiting young people. If it's human rights, let those who are already there be there. If it was, and I'm not sure I would even support that, but my point is, they are recruiting very young people. You go and listen to the boys they are recruiting from schools deep in the villages, and then they even go and tell the headmasters the boy stops going to school because he's now fully employed in recruiting, and then he gets a report at the end of every term, and he takes it because the headmaster is also getting money. They have a lot of money. The headmaster is getting money, so the boy goes to his parent and says, but he did not step in class even one day. He did not even do exams. He has been recruiting his age mates into homosexuality. One of them tried to commit suicide because you know that, let me tell you, let nobody deceive you, that practice is against everything that is natural. The rate of suicide among homosexuals is almost 10 times, perhaps even more, because it's just a silly thing. It's just a silly thing. Now, that young boy attempted to take his life about 15 times. But I think God is the one who protected him. Not I think, God is the one who protected him. Because eventually he came and confessed and left the practice. And then they said they start developing cancer in the behinds and all that. Because, and as soon as they start developing cancer in the behind, and they start getting, those people who are paying them money discarded them and let them go and rot somewhere in the village and die. Basically roll over and die. So there are people who are corrupting this society of ours. And we are not paying attention to it. And we shall know about it some years from now. And we shall regret that we did nothing about it. I am telling you. So there are some stupid fools who are there on social media saying human rights, human rights, human rights. Like anyone who says human rights, I wish for you that tomorrow your son comes and tells you that he's a homo and he comes with a boyfriend. You see, they think it's far away from them. Or become somebody's girlfriend. I wish for you, those people who are saying human rights, I wish for you that your son comes and is somebody's girlfriend tomorrow. That's when you will know that we have a culture in this country. We are a country which is very religious, okay? Almost 90-something% are subscribed to some religion. We are people who believe in norms. We are family people. We believe in having families. So I have tried to avoid so much talking about this. But you see, the reality is that the people who are up against us are using a lot of money. And they are taking advantage of our society, which is very fragile. We have a very fragile society because of poverty. Anything can pass. You remember the man who came one day and he was trying to prove that Africans are stupid. So he said that he's going to give each one in the villages of Mukono a pig. You remember that man? Or he was called Honsil or something like that. And said that for a piglet, to give you a piglet, you have to change your surname from Kableta to his, for a pig. And he was just proving to some people the other side that you see how stupid Africans are. But you see, because of poverty, people were taking the piglet and changing their names. And that's how fragile our society is, because of poverty. And now this thing, then also the other day, I want to just show you that the society we're in. They arrested some people in Muyenga, in some world house. And there was some, in brackets, quote-unquote NGO, which was recruiting girls, teaching them how to have sex with the dogs. Because they were going to take them abroad for people who who love their pets so much they cannot have sex with fellow animals. So they want some women. And the girls were going there, and they were being recruited. Why? A very fragile society. Because of poverty. Very fragile. So now when you get these people coming with their money, going to recruit young boys into that vice, they find a society which is very, very, very fragile, and which they can just burn through and do whatever they want because they have money. Okay? And now that is very, very sad. So now on top, debating on the law and what should be done and whether the president is going to sign it into a bill and so on. Of course he can't. And so on. There are people who are not talking. You know, Ugandans are good at talking. There are people who are not talking, they are acting. And their actions are going to change this society. And we shall find ourselves in big, big, big trouble. I'm telling you. So that's what I have to say about that. Over
the same, I wanted some kind of elaborations, because you are like NGOs are being used to miss.
First of all, when NGOs have been, there was a time they were all told to go and register fresh. It had nothing to do with those things. It had everything to do with politics, because they were fearing that NGOs are going to be a conduit for opposition political parties to get money from abroad. and they really try hard to make sure that we don't get any money from abroad. So his interest is not in that. His interest is in politics and staying in power. And even if we told him that we need to look out on what NGOs are doing, he's going to use those very words to clamp down on different kinds of NGOs, those which are not involved in this practice, but those whom he thinks might be bringing money into the country for opposition politicians. So I don't want to go into that way of let's clamp down on opposition, or rather on NGOs. But just know one thing, our society is very fragile because there is too much poverty, anything can pass.
Mr. President,
yes.
I agree, our society is fragile.
Parents, because of course you can train your children and so on, but what do you do as a parent when you take your child to school and you know your child is going to class, and the next thing you know, your child comes back with a car? That boy was being given a salary of 42 million a month. All he had to do is recruit his age mate. 42 million a month. Now, what do you do when you're a poor parent deep in the villages of Kosovo? It comes down to a society being fragile. That's what it comes down to. Because what do you do when even the headmaster of the school is giving the boy a report card every term, yet the boy has not sat for any single exam in like 4 or 5 years, but he's being promoted because the headmaster is in on the money? What do? You see, we're in Syria. That's why I'm telling you, when I saw that, because the civil society in Kenya, the churches, the mosques, the civil society, all of them stood up and told Ruto, you are not going to do that thing here. And he actually backtracked. They threatened him because you see he became president, going to churches, and those were most of his votes. So when he came and they signed that homosexuality bill, the whole churches came up and said, we are withdrawing our support if you are going to support this thing. So the next thing, Ruto was now backtracking, saying he's not going to sign the thing. You see. But Ugandans are very docile. These things will happen and they'll just shut up. The churches, the mosques, civil society, nobody seems to be saying anything. So now, at the end of the day, and yet the people who stand up to say something against it are very, like they come down on them seriously. Very seriously. They threaten them, they do what? The other day, some gentleman who is at the forefront, who has been at the forefront of fighting that thing, told me personally that he was an American citizen and he has their passport. But they clamped down on him until he went and told them, take your passport, I don't want it. I'm renouncing American citizenship, I want to become a Ugandan citizen. I don't want your passport because in Uganda, what I'm doing is not illegal. Homosexuality is illegal. But they were clamping down on him because he's an American citizen. But of course he's a Ugandan and a Mugandan. But he told them, take your passport. I don't want it. But of course they told him, okay, no, you keep it. Because they don't like the idea of somebody renouncing their citizenship. Now you see, Twitter has even written to Basadwa to explain why. So now if the people who are against Bisianga are quiet, and those who are for it are now you will see next time Basadwa goes to ask for a visa. So you see that there is you fight a fight, everybody just looks at you and wishes you luck. But yet actually when they come for you, nobody is interested. You see. So now we have a serious problem in this country, I'm telling you, because of the fragility of our society. When I tell you that need is Sente Munsao, I know that solves so many problems. There are 18-year-olds who are sleeping with men who are 70 because there is no Sente Munsao. Okay? Everything is turned upside down. It's all money. Somebody who has money can do anything. So when we say Sente Munsao, or money in your pocket. We know that that can solve so many issues because people have dignity when they have money. But they have no dignity when they are poor. They have none. Imagine somebody changing his last name because to get a piglet. A pig. The guy was taking pig and he was getting that man. The man would get them, and now let's say you have a board. You know the way they put a board, and then you put your former name Joseph Kableta, then they cancel Kableta, and then they put his name, and then you take a picture when you are holding that. Now I've given up my name Kableta. Now I'm called whatever it's called, over Hornsley or something like that, Hornsley or something like that. And you're sending the pictures to his guys there, and they were laughing at how stupid Africans are. You change your name for a piglet, man, and that's how fragile our society is. So, that's the truth. That's enough on that.
Thank you.